Hey everyone, so today is September 14 and day 14 of our learning journey in learning how to use the Godot engine. And right now, I just want to continue from where we left off yesterday. And I just want to talk a little bit more about variables. And as I've mentioned, my strategy here is to compare some of the programming languages that I already know from the programming language that I'm currently trying to learn right now. So I think if you already have a background with a programming language, some other programming language, it's going to be a lot easier for you to transition to another programming language as long as you focus on the fundamentals. That means, of course, what we want to do here is to familiarize ourselves on how to read code base. And that's why I'm going through the very basics. I'm also reading through the documentation just to familiarize myself with some of the basic programming concepts that Godot is also adapting in the official scripting language that they have, and that is the GDScript. And we learned about that GDScript is a dynamic language. We learned about variable assignment yesterday and or last time. And we also learned how we can try to go and test things out using the print built-in method. So again, as I mentioned, when we say methods, these are just another term for built-in functions that has already been made by developers. And if you go and try to read a little bit of forums, this is something that I was really confused way back then. And that's why I wanted to at least have a little bit of distinguishment between methods and functions. So functions are basically methods, but the difference is this is made by the Godot developers, the one who created the engine, and it's already available in the GD language or in the GDScript language. Unlike with functions, this can be customized. Okay, so we'll talk more about that. But for now, I just want to cover some concepts in JavaScript, and I think there are some variants. When I was trying to rewatch the tutorial that I made yesterday or last time. I was seeing that there were some typographical error here. Int is actually we did not declare it. This is a int a here is not initialized. Declared it, but did not initialize it. Okay. I think I just wanted to make sure that that's clear with our document here. And in here we have static language. This is valid, and this is us storing the value of 5 to the identifier of variable name. Okay, some other things that I just want to cover here is how do we write a variable? And we know that this is going to be a value pair. That means if we have some, let's say, just and one thing to take note of is that one file in JavaScript is actually considered as a class, and that's why you will see here we are trying to inherit the character body 2D from the Godot engine. Perhaps there's already some code that has been written that we are trying to inherit from the character body 2D class. And just we'll try to cover and try to explore inheritance, how that is done in GDScript. But just have that in your mind that each files in Godot is actually a class. And in here, I am just going to declare some variables here. And this is how we go and write a variable in JavaScript. So let's say, and I just want to do some testings here or testing. So of course we have to use the var keyword. And in other programming languages, they have what we call var. You can use let if you're using JavaScript, and there's also that const keyword, right? And variable is a bit risky when you're working with JavaScript, mainly because it has a tendency for getting redeclared, no matter if it's in a global scope or in a function scope, right? And that's why we have and in JavaScript, it's mostly recommended to use let instead of var in some cases. But as we can see here, when it comes to writing a variable in JavaScript, we use the keyword var, okay? And then we can follow this keyword with a name that we choose, or this is a unique name, right? So let's say I would want to call this var string. it's going to be much more suggestible that you utilize something or an identifier as a name that can be easily remembered or understood by fellow developers or by yourself when you go back to this code. And that's one of the things that we might want to explore on. And that's some of the naming conventions that you can try to use. And in general concepts, we might also want to look for some rules for identifier names when we are working with different variables. And in this case, let's just say I'm going to be using a data type of string. So that means I can say hello world. And this hello world is going to be, I can now go and print out this string data type inside of one of the print method that we are able to print every time that this boolean is set to true and every time that this boolean is set to false. We know that the flip here is a property and it's actually a boolean value. Okay, don't worry, we'll talk more about the different data types as we go along. But as if you're a total beginner, that's just one of the things that you have to understand about booleans. They are usually either true or false. Now, if I go and use this, and let's just go and use a spaced here, and most commonly with different programming languages, if you're using a string and then you want to concatenate that, let's say I want to use I want to go and use this string here that we stored in the var string identifier or variable name that we declared and initialized with a string data type. String data type. This is a string data type. Okay. And in here, I want to have a concatenation operator. So in JavaScript, we also use that plus symbol as a concatenation operator. So what will happen if we go and put this here? And now we can see that this is var string, variable string with the value of hello world. Okay. And if I go and try to play this, and if we try to go and run the player moving to the right, you will see we are printing that move to the right. And if we move to the left, we have that move to the left hello world string being printed out on our output panel. And I just learned how we can go and clear the output, and you can just use this Control Shift plus K as a shortcut. And going back here. So that's one way, string data type. We can store a string data type and we can assign a value to it. We can also go and assign a value, let's say here, var, or let's say number, var num. And in here, we would want to have a value of 100. And in this case, I want to use that. So right now we are storing an integer. We are putting here an integer data type, which is basically a number. Okay. So we have that value of 100 and I have done some testing here. You'll see that this is going to run into an error if you're using, let's see here. If we are using this, you would see that this will not work. Okay, so it says that invalid operand string and int in the operator plus. So I think we'll have to explore how do we go and combine a string and an integer in the JavaScript language. So we'll try to explore that error perhaps some other time, but for now, I just want to go and let's say I would want to have this. Okay, so now I just want to go and remove this for the meantime so that we can try to go and explore how that will work. So if we try to play this, let's see. One thing that I noticed is that you can actually play the game and we can see now that it's now printing out that 100. Okay, so that means it's working and we are able to store the value in our declared and initialized variable. So going back here, we understand now that we can have variables can store different types of data types or can store different data types. So far, we have covered string, we have covered integer, and we can also cover float. And how does float looks like? So let's try to go and let's just say I'm going to change this. Let's say I'm going to have this commented out and I'm going to have a variable float. or let's just say number flow. And I'm just going to say 10.1. And in here, we can go and try to go get this and put that there and test out what would happen. Let me clear out the output first and then play. And now we can see if we try to run this, we can see that there's that 10.1. Okay. And what happens if we, okay, so one other thing that we can try to look into here is that we can have variables, and we can use what we call typed variable in GTScript. Okay, so how is that going to be done? So this is like us going to be limiting. So we can limit the variable to only contain values of a specific data type. So when we say typed variable, let's say for example, I want to limit this var and I just want to say this is going to be a num int assign the value of 100. So that means this is going to be strictly can only store integer data types. Okay. And let's say if I go back here, right now we know that in some other programming languages, you can actually go and try to redeclare the value inside of the or reinitialize it. Let's see what if I reinitialize this with a number of 10. Sorry, I got used to using JavaScript. Let's clear this out and try to test this out. I think we're going to run into an error if we do that. So if I go right, 10.1, if I go to 10, again, we're getting that same error. However, if we try to go and try to remove this, I'm still going to explore further that plus sign. What in other programming languages, we use that for concatenation, right? But there might be a secondary use case or a different use case with Godot or with GTScript. So we'll have to explore that. But for now, I just want to try out if this is going to be working. So 10.1 and now 10 is working. So you would see we are able to reassign a new value to that variable string. And if I go and try to var string again and assign a string here, this is a beautiful world or hello world 2. I just can't think of things to say there. So, but let's try to first test this out. Will this work? Now we have hello world 2 and 10.1. Even though in the first declaration that we've had, we stored the string hello world and we were able to reassign a new value to it, which is an integer value. And we also were able to add another string value. And that's, of course, in English or in learning a new programming language, one of the things that we have to keep in mind is that this is like us learning how to speak in English or a new language. We have to learn the parts of speech. We need to learn the different nouns, pronouns. We have to understand verbs, adjectives. And that's the same thing that we're trying to look for when we are learning a programming language. The only difference is in a programming language, you have to be very, very strict and a perfectionist, as we may say it, because you will end up running with an error if you made a mistake. The compiler, or let's say in a language or programming language that you're working on, if you made a mistake, the computer will not be able to understand you. Unlike with you conversing with another human being, they will try to understand what you're trying to tell them. And in this case, the computer would normally read line by line. So the first line here, the computer understood that this is a hello world string data type, and then we reassigned a new value to it in a var string in the var string declaration and initialization that we had, and we reinitialize it, and here we reinitialize it with a string value. So here we just reinitialize, let me just reinitialize with a string data type, or not a string, but with a an integer data type. And in here, we reinitialize with a string data type. So that can be done in the Godot language. Now, one thing that we would want to understand is how does declaring a variable uh, going to be called a typed variable in JavaScript. So try this out. If I go and use, let's say, for example, the syntax that we have here, and that means this is going to be separated with a colon. And we're going to give it a keyword. As you can see, the IntelliSense in the Godot editor here is giving us a hint. And it's also telling us that this is something, an error cannot assign a new value of type string as int. And what if we go and comment this out? Okay, so we're still getting that error. However, if we have this var string here, and what if we say that, let me just comment this out, and have this var string, and this one is running an error. But in here, what if we say, I'm going to give this a number 5, and this one, we're just going to go and comment that out first. So we can see, if we try to run this, is that we should now be able to go and print out 10.1 for the float value, and we are able to print out 5, 10, and 5. Okay, so I think that's something that we can do, and that is you specifically saying that this is going to be strictly an integer. This is strictly an integer data type. Okay, so you cannot use strings if you're going to be using type variables, and that can be done not only with, let's say, for example, here, did I type there? This can be done with different variable declarations. Let's say, for example, here we want to have a, and I think this should be var number, strictly, strict var number. Okay, and of course that will now be running into an error, strict var number. And in here we can say that this is going to be strict var string. So that means we can follow the syntax here, and string is assigned the value of strictly string literals. Okay, and will that work? Okay, so what would happen if we go and put that there? Are we going to run into any error? I forgot to stop that. Let's try to, and Godot's not stopping us. Usually, if you're going to be and strictly string literals, and in here it's going to be number 5, right? And I think we can also use boolean here. So I think we can say, let's have var strict, and of course you can shorten this out, guys. This can be strict var bool, and again you can use the keyword boolean to say that this is going to be true. And can we use this now instead of this? Will this work? Let's try to check this out. Supposedly, if we move here, we should be able to flip, right? Let's try to see if that will be breaking anything. And if I go strictly string literal, and it's still working, as we can see here. Okay, and if I go and say that this is going to be var variable strict var bool false, and we want this to be strictly false, I think this should still be working, and that's just a bit, and we change this with strict var bool false. Let's try to see if that will work. And then okay, so both are still working. But what if we add here a different value, false string? Now we're running into an error. Cannot assign a value of type string as bool. So I hope that that has given you an idea here about type values. In here we are now able to use that strict var bool, and we have this strict var false. So instead of having that assigned as the word true, and this one is going to have a false. I think we should say this is true, just for the purpose of making it much more readable for us. Okay, let's see if that will work. And let's try to, okay. So those are still working. So that means this is a strict number. Okay, so we can see here, I hope that the variable type, or when we say variables, variables can be, or we can use typed variable in JavaScript. Variables, what's that? I typed that accidentally. So it will only be strictly limited. It will be limiting the value of what we will be using as a data type as we try to store it in our variable declaration and initialization. And some other thing that we can try to learn perhaps will be coercion. I would also want to cover coercion in the JavaScript language, because if you are working with JavaScript, I'm looking at it with a JavaScript perspective or a C sharp perspective. There are there's a concept called coercion, so perhaps we can also work on that. And some things to take note of when it comes to naming our variables. Naming our variables, it will be, especially for identifiers, we can try to use A to Z and A to Z. Okay. For the digits, we can say that we can use 0 to 9. And this can also be serving as a variable identifier. So we know in JavaScript we have some rules that that has been developed by previous programmer before us. That's why, for example, we can rule number one in JavaScript we can use letter, dollar sign, or underscore, but cannot contain any other special characters and cannot use a space as an identifier. We cannot use a keyword like this. This is a keyword and built in into the language. And we cannot also use, or let's say here, we cannot say var. I'm not sure why that's working. Okay, so it says here expected variable name after var. Okay, so that's not possible with JavaScript. Also in JavaScript, it's also not possible. And we also have case sensitivity. We also have to be careful when you say case sensitivity. Sensitivity. Let's say var rod is different from var rod. So let's try to see that. I just want to explore some things here. And let me just go and control C that. And this one, I'm going to remove that now. And in here, let's have a variable declaration. Comment that out. That's not working. And let's see. So identifiers, when we name variables, we can say that we can name them with a dollar sign, var dollar sign rod. Is that possible? Or not and, but dollar sign rod. Sign the value of rod, string rod. Will this work? No, after var. Okay, so that's not possible if we started with a dollar sign. How about underscore? Let's try to have a var my name underscore rod, sign the value of rod. Let's see. Okay, so let's go. There's an error there. And this one because we commented that out. And now let's see. My name rod. Is that possible? Can we use that? If we move to the left, and if we say var my name underscore rod, or let's say just going to say my name underscore rod. So that means those are going to be that should be sensitive. So let me just go and minimize this. And let's go get this. Put that here. And this one we're seeing an error. And now let's clear this. So we have here my name underscore Rod, my name underscore Rod, and this one is Rod, and this one is Rodrigo. So will that be the same? What will happen? What will be printed out? Let's just explore. So we're printing out Rodrigo when we're going to the right side, and we're printing out Rod when we're going to the left side. So just to make it simple, if I say that this is going to be Rod, and this is going to be said as Rod, we should see that this is going to be two different things. And of course, we have to make sure that the variables are the ones that we're using. The good thing about the dot is it's actually allowing us to run it. Okay, so we can see Rodrigo is being printed out and Rod is being printed out here. So I can say Lopez here just to play a bit around with the variable declaration here. So we can see Rodrigo, Lopez. So those are things to take note of when we are working with the variable naming for specifically giving sets of identifiers.